Hello friends, today we're going to be talking about how to build a commission-based sales team. Well, by the end of this video, you'll have a comprehensive understanding of how to design and build a commission-based sales team that maximizes motivation and drives sales results. Imagine having a team that is not only driven to hit their targets, but also rewards the business with exceptional results. Stay tuned and we'll show you how to turn this vision into a reality. Have you ever wondered how top sales companies structure their commission-based sales team for optimal results? What is the secret to motivate sales reps with commissions? Today, we're revealing those strategies and showing you how to apply them to your own team by first, explaining what a commission-based sales team is. Second, understanding why somebody would want to be commission-based. And finally, understanding what outcome and structure can lead to a commission-based sales team success. If you're ready, let's go. So what is a commission-based sales team? A commission-based sales team is comprised of individuals that are working together to get sales and being paid off those sales a percentage of commission based off of those sales. And it's really based on how they perform. Now let's talk about the different types of commission plans that are out there for most typical sales organizations. First off, you have commission only. Now this is one you need to be cautious about. I believe some people in their mind, when they hear commission only, they think I'm only gonna pay somebody if they get a sale, I'll pay them a commission off of that sale. But if they do not get any sales and they're working for me all week long and don't get a sale, I'm not gonna pay them anything. Now, depending which state you live in and which government agency governs your organization, your company, you need to pay them regardless whether they get a sale or not. Now, if it's commission only, you might be able to get away with paying them the very minimum possible, which might be a minimum wage guaranteed base, right? So if they don't get commissions, you've at least got to pay the minimum wage for the time that they were on premise. But commission only as an organization allows you a little bit of freedom where you can pay more commission. And most people, most sales reps, if they're signing up to be a sales rep, are not working for a minimum wage. And so they're not happy, they're not satisfied unless they get sales. So it still works out, but you can't get away with not paying them at all. Now let's talk about another structure, base plus commission. Now a lot of times this is maybe for an organization that maybe has a lot of reoccurring revenue coming in and they're looking for those sales reps who are maybe a little bit more seasoned. This is base plus commission. So you're paying them a base, a salary, and on top of that, you're giving them commission. Now, obviously that salary isn't something that's gonna take care of all their needs. You need them to be hungry. And so that base is just a minimum, but the commissions on top of that are very rewarding. So they know that they, by working hard, are not only gonna get a base, something solid, but a great commission on top of that. That works well for seasoned sales reps or seasoned organizations that have a lot of funds coming in. So why would somebody wanna work a commission-based sales position? And what type of person should you look for? Most sales reps that are commissioned, they realize that the skill set that they have, the persuasion, the ability that they have to motivate people to move towards a buying decision are able to put their skills to work. And the harder they work, the more they hone their skills, the more money they can make. They really and truly believe that doing so is going to provide a great livelihood for their family. And some of the best jobs out there that I've ever seen where people have the ability to make the most amount of money is definitely in sales. And sales transcends every single business, every single industry, whether it's tech sales, whether it's parts sales, whether it's auto sales. Sales happen in every single industry, and there are positions in sales where people can make great money no matter what organization they're working for. And these are people that realize and understand that rather than making a salary, they want that excitement and energy of making that really big paycheck. And typically these people are highly competitive. They realize that if they perform at a high level and they beat the competition, they will rise to the top. And typically they like an environment that fosters energy and fun and just a great place to show up every single day. Now, understanding what motivates a commission-based sales team is really important, but also from a company standpoint, you've got to understand what metrics you want. What are you going to utilize to drive them to hit the metrics that drive the company forward? And I know for most sales reps, they prefer metrics that they can control. And that's definitely not a bad thing. And there's definitely metrics that fall into that category. And those are usually activity metrics, right? Most times sales reps, if they have control over the metric, there's no excuses. And that is part of the agreement when they show up to be a sales rep, right? These are things that you can control. Your attitude, your work ethic, and work ethic metrics are shown here by doing these things. For us, it's phone time and dials. So when a rep has a certain amount of phone time and dials, we know that's going to lead to success. But there's got to be things in place that for you as the organization are important. One example of this, in our organization, somebody gets a sale, or our sales reps get somebody that moved from a prospect to a customer, and they purchase a program from us. They can buy it through cash, or we're even open to financing a portion of it. Now, obviously for us as an organization, if people pay with cash, that's better for us as an organization. But for a sales rep, it might be easier to get this person to only put down a little bit of cash and finance the rest. And so we want to motivate and inspire the rep to get as much cash as possible. So we actually pay a higher percentage on cash collected and a very minimal amount on the financed amount. So we're trying to align our metrics with their metrics. And this is one example we've seen in our organization. So if there's a metric that you desire in your organization, compensating them the right way on a commission-based sales team is very important to align your objectives and your metrics with what they can do. And I think another powerful way for outbound sales reps to drive the incentives you want is having daily, weekly, and monthly incentives. Sales reps, especially outbound sales reps, are creatures of habit, right? And they're motivated by money. So if you have things that you do on a regular basis, whether it's daily, and it doesn't have to be every day, but a putt for dough or some other challenge that happens that day, maybe it's a money award where they can take money off the board if they get a set or if they get a sale, that can be exciting and motivating. Or on a weekly basis, and having recognition based around those things is also something that's very motivating and that outbound salespeople thrive to be a part of. Finally, let's talk about structure. When it comes to commission-based salespeople, what type of structure is best? I remember when we first got started as a sales organization, we didn't have much of a structure. Each sales rep was responsible for their sales. They got a sheet full of leads and started dialing those leads to try and offer them products that they saw at a seminar that they ended up not buying. So we would try and call those people and try and get them to buy those products and services afterwards when they'd said no to it the first time. And I remember we had cubicles made of plywood with some crappy carpet on the side of it, and there was no structure. But as time went on, we soon realized there was an important structure when it came to phone sales, and we knew at the top of that structure we needed a good team leader, right? Which was a good sales rep that also had some management and leadership skills. And underneath that team leader, we had consultants. Those are the setters. That's the tip of the spear. Those are the people that are calling, making the calls, and setting up the closer or team leader. So it became a two-part sales process. Rather than one person taking the call from start to finish, we had learned that if we get that first person to take them through an interview process, and if you got them to answer certain questions and agree to certain things, certain commitments, they'd be a good prospect for that second call, and they would be able to then make a buying decision by the end of that call. So a team leader with consultants or setters, and then closers. And then one thing we did early on when we decided, you know what, we are creating a fairly big organization. We want people to come in here that have a desire to grow and progress in their career. So if they come in at this level as a prober or setter, they become a closer. The next thing in line is an assistant team leader. Because to make that jump from closer to team leader was a little bit challenging. So if we could try them in that system of an assistant team leader to see what type of leadership management skills they had, that would then let us know who would be a great team leader down the road. So setting up that type of structure worked really well for us for a commission-based sales team because it gave the assistant leader the ability to make a little bit of override on his small 3 or 4 man team, but the team leader to make an override over the whole team. And just by instituting that, it gave purpose and a career path for everybody that came into our organization. Now, these are some things that we've done that have worked really well to create and operate commission-based sales team. I'd be interested in what you've done. So please comment below. Let's engage in a conversation. And remember, just for stopping by and watching the video, I have a free gift for you. It's our 10-part sales and persuasion course. It's 10 modules of some of the best stuff we have that we've used to train all of our salespeople. Normally we sell it for $1,000, but it's 100% free for you. All you have to do is click on the link below, aaronsalestraining.com. No obligation, no strings attached. Once again, thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.